The big story out of Silicon Valley this morning is what's ahead for Twitter and their new CEO, Dick Costolo. He's a former chief operating officer, and he's replacing co-founder Evan Williams, who is stepping aside to focus now on product strategy. Our next guest knows Costolo very well. He's in fact one of his best friends and one of the first investors in Twitter. Chris Sacca is out in San Francisco with our very own Chris Valerio. Chris is?
Hey, Margaret, that's right. And you know, Chris, yeah, both of us, right? And Chris is actually his alter ego on Twitter. I love that little data point. So, Chris, I guess the first question I have to ask you is how, obviously, Dick has been really focused on monetization at Twitter. How important is Dick as CEO in getting Twitter ready for an eventual IPO?
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is set the record straight. This is going to be a monumental leap forward for Twitter, but Dick's last name is pronounced Costolo. So I've seen so many pronunciations over the last couple of days. It's been awesome. So I know he'll sleep a lot better tonight knowing it's Dick Costolo. But Dick has been fantastic, and he was a real strong addition to the team last year. He came on board and really helped a lot of the details and the management and the day-to-day kind of meetings and budgets that it turns out aren't that fun for a lot of the traditionally creative people and visionary people like Evan Williams. And so he's been great. We've gotten some good monetization products launched there. And now Evan's going to be freed up to focus on product. I mean, I'm pretty excited as an investor there.
When you look at how Twitter stands right now, and they're starting to make some money, obviously making more money than they were a year ago, thanks in large part to Dick, do you think that Twitter's still going to need to raise more money?
There's always the opportunity to raise more money for a company like Twitter. There's so much interest in it. I don't know. It really comes down to what they want to do in terms of growth. I mean, money's starting to come in. They've got multiple revenue paths from licensing data to promoted trends, promoted tweets. Yesterday they announced promoted accounts. All these things right now are oversubscribed. Luckily, they just hired Adam Bain to head up the sales organization. They promoted Kevin Thau into the head of BizDev. So there's finally bodies to accept the sales orders that are coming in. But I think things are looking really bright for those guys, and we'll have to see. If they decide they need more capital, it's going to be there easily for them.
One of the things, when you look at shares post and how much the company is worth right now, they have that at about $2.4 billion for a valuation. Does that sound right to you? Are we a lot more than that at this point?
Shares post, I don't think you can rely upon for any accurate valuation information these days. They don't really kind of
So what do you think? Do you think Twitter is more around the $4 billion range? I mean, what are we looking at right now, realistically?
There's always a wide range between where it's trading right now in the secondary, what a venture capitalist would invest at right now, and what it would get bought for right now. And those can be off by a factor of 2. I just don't like to use shares post as an indicator of that, because I don't think they're really making a market in the stock.
So then $4 billion would be your bet there.
Well, hey, I mean, I'll take 100.
Hey, Chris, can I jump in? I've got a question here, too. Twitter's at 165 million users now. What's the critical mass that you get to that truly changes the strategy for the company in terms of an approach to advertising or an approach to development?
Yeah, I think we've already crossed that boundary right now at Twitter. I think, as soon as you start hearing the media and companies mention the Twitter name in their own promotions without having to explain what it is, I think there's a chasm that's been crossed right there. And now as we start to see real resonance around the brand names that are on Twitter, where these conversations are happening, even if the brand isn't participating in the conversation, again, we've made that leap already to where it's mainstream. And so now what it is the brands catching up and inserting themselves back in those conversations and making sure they're involved too.
Now, Chris, you brokered the deal that started making the company money, Google, Twitter deal. What are you working on any deals for them right now? Any other streams of revenue that you're personally involved in?
No, back in the day I was kind of the one businessy guy, and I don't look very businessy, but I was the one businessy guy hanging on. The day Dick Costolo came on was the day I was able to pass that baton, and I went and rode my bike across the country while he really ground out the rest of those search deals and really turned on the monetization streams.
And do you have any interest in growing, I guess, your stake or in investing any more in Twitter?
I've continued to invest pretty regularly in Twitter over the last few years. So yeah, I've definitely grown my stake, and I'll continue to if I have the opportunity.
Chris, can you, since you're sort of myth busting for us, can you also tell us, is it true that your friend Dick got the post at Twitter by tweeting out that he was unemployed, and Evan Williams saw that and responded to him? Is that a true story?
That's the story, yeah.
Is it true?
I mean, look, Evan and Dick, yes. Evan, Dick, all of us have been friends for a long time, and I think all of us have a lot of respect for Dick. I tried unsuccessfully to buy Dick's company, FeedBurner, twice at Google, and ultimately Google did buy it for an alarmingly high amount of money. Dick's an amazing guy. He's a comedian. He does ghost author the fake Sacca account on Twitter. He's a fantastic guy, and so when we got an opportunity to work with him, it was an opportunity nobody wanted to pass up.
And Chris, now you're at Lowercase. You have several funds in the mix right now. What areas specifically, investment opportunities, do you see for angel investors such as yourself?
Yeah, so I span the range from angel to late-stage private equity now, all over the map, and do some secondary stuff like that. I still think we're very early in real time. I think we're very early in search. I think location changes all of this stuff. A lot of opportunities in commerce. Commerce is still too high friction, so I'm really looking at people who are making commerce a lot easier to transact. And then above all is analytics. The more data we have, it informs the true value of these advertising platforms. And so when Google bought Google Analytics, for instance, suddenly the value of their advertising platform went up as a whole. And I think I've been really deeply invested in analytics companies like Backtype, Chartbeat, Bitly.
Chris Sacca, Lowercase Capital, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.